Ralph!
Oh, Marilyn, hello!
Hi. Let my
So good to see you.
Oh, always, my dear, always. What do we got here?
Thank you for coming by. Come on in.
On this day, driving between our two beautiful places was a true pleasure.
Hi, I'm Ralph Joachim. I'm an abstract artist, and I am sitting right next to Marilyn Kuksht, who is a very talented metal abstract artist, or a sculptor, I should say. And we collaborated in a show at the Blitzer Gallery in Santa Cruz in the fall of 2014. And we're here to introduce a video of that show. And my remarks now are being made from my house and studio in Pleasure Point, and shortly we'll be going up to Marilyn's studio compound in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So the work in designing the combinations is done out here on this living room floor, and then I take individual pieces, units, back into the studio where I paint the units, and you'll see how that's done in seeing my studio just in a moment. I had a classic car, a 1969 Cougar convertible I drove for about 30 years, and the car spent one day in the garage, and I was pushed out so I could make room for the studio. So here's the studio back here. Basically, I'm using the whole house because of the small size of the house and the large size of the work. And I don't have room back here to design the combinations because I have to see the combinations as a whole, at least when I design them. Not when I paint, but and then also during the painting process, I often go back and take individual pieces and match them up so I can get some sense of where I'm moving in the direction I want to. But coming back here is where the actual work is really painted. So I started out doing a lot of figurative work in landscape and seascape, and I noticed that it became more and more abstracted, and I was doing what started out as realistic work, became semi-abstract, and then from the semi-abstract I moved to pure abstraction in 2005, and then from working in small pieces I started expanding and doing larger pieces and solved the problem of space by doing combinations. Yeah.
What a day we picked for this, but it's great. But I'll give you a little bit of the two-bit tour since I've established the place more.
That's wonderful, because there's a lot of new work you have here that I haven't seen before, and to see it in this environment is just really special.
We developed this because we had that bridge to come across, and I couldn't, bring huge things across, but we could bring these small shipping containers. So the setup has organically evolved. And the first thing, other than this, which was here, was a container for my little mini shop.
That's so clever, and it works so well. I'm really impressed.
For the large work I turn out, this is a pretty small, let's call it consolidated shop. A lot of small sculptures, because that's the roots, is small sculptures came out of here. But I need to work on these large pieces. You've talked about how do I do this work when I've got pieces this size,
massive pieces,
up to 20 feet, and
how many hundreds of pounds?
I think the heaviest calculated weight of something I've done is 2,300 pounds so far. So, one of the ways it's accomplished is with this guy.
With this hoist. What do you call it? What's the formal term for that?
This is a jib crane.
Jib crane, okay.
And the jib crane is great, but you can see if I'm lifting something heavy, you have to have a counterbalance. Well, this, thanks to my friend at Cheney Metals, Paul Cheney, who built it out of bits and pieces, you have to counterbalance whatever you're lifting.
Correct.
Well, I always laugh. The counterbalance to whatever I'm lifting is my shop. Because the crane is welded
I see now. It's welded to the cargo crane.
The crane is welded to the shop. But over
Let's
here
see.
is my patina booth, and this is where
Oh, that's where you do all your finishing.
that's
work,
where I
huh?
do my finishing
And
work.
I'm really
It's-
impressed the way your finishing technique has really evolved over the years.
Thanks.
I mean, it's become beautiful, and it's a very important part of your sculpture. It really is.
It does add another dimension.
Yeah.
So they come here to have finishes, painting
Yeah.
or patinas, either way. All my patinas are hot process, so yeah, I use a lot of heat and chemical combinations that evolve. Some of them are more stable than others, and when they're not stable, I get bad surprises, and I don't like bad surprises, so I don't use them.
So it's a kind of trial and error process.
It was in the beginning, at
Okay,
least,
but now
after
you've
a
sort of
number of
mastered
years,
technique, okay.
it's mastered. So, anyway, that's my world. We joked about you evolving or being an emerging artist as a pair of elder or
Correct.
oldster. I
That's
love it.
right.
Oldster emerging artist. I am emerging from a career in administrative management. Needed something more tactile, and administrative management is not tactile. And I struck out, and as you know, did a floral business that somehow got sculptural and evolved to me taking a welding class and became this, and I'm as happy as a clown.
And of course, what you didn't realize in the beginning was your incredible sense of design, which
Thank you.
evolved with your sculpture. I mean, it's just been amazing.